Sergeant Jeremy Linville is completing his second tour in Afghanistan. His first, in 2007, was cut short by a double-stacked mine, IED.
Broke my right orbit, fractured my left orbit, ripped my nose half off, fractured my right cheek.
He was medically evacuated within half an hour. After getting stitched up at Camp Salerno, he was airlifted out of the country to receive further treatment. Military doctors in Linville, Germany, and Fort Bragg, North Carolina, worked on reconstructing his face. In addition to sewing his nose back together, surgeons had to insert a titanium plate in his cheek and dowel rods in his nose. 18 months later, he had fully recovered.
I had a baseball stitch type scar that ran from about the center eyebrow down into about here on my cheek.
Right.
And they went back and they did like a laser type surgery that all it did was it tried to seal the skin together a little better, and it hid my scar tremendously.
His injury may have cut his deployment short, but it didn't hold him back from returning to Afghanistan for a second tour with his same unit, the 473 Cav.
It's a great feeling knowing that I'm back with all my brothers that I deployed with the first time.
One of Jeremy's new brothers is Sergeant Jeremiah Church, who he met at Fort Bragg's Warrior Transition Brigade during his recovery. The two of them were linked together through similar experiences, rehabilitation, and would also share their next deployment together. In August of 2007, Sergeant Church was on a joint patrol in Iraq when his Humvee was ambushed by small arms fire and rocket-propelled grenades.
The fire was the heaviest I'd ever seen. It's about 5-10 minutes into the firefight. I was reloading a 50 cal machine gun and was struck at my left forearm and wrist.
Church's hand was barely hanging on by its skin, but he continued to fight.
Got a tourniquet on it. I got back up in the gun. Kept rocking rounds till I ran out. Pretty much shot every round on the truck.
The area was still too dangerous for an air medevac by helicopter, so he had to be driven to a forward operating base until he was stabilized. Shortly thereafter, Jeremiah was on his way to Linville, Germany, where doctors were ready to operate on his mangled hand.
There I woke up to a guy holding a bunch of paperwork. Wanted me to sign it. When I asked him what it was for, he said it was a waiver so we can take your hand, and I told him to go f*** himself. So they gave me my shot, and it worked.
Church went through 11 surgeries. Even though he was away from combat, he continued to fight, this time for the survival of his Army career.
They had my hand rebuilt, and after that I got cleared to return to duty, and here I am in Afghanistan.
Several more surgeries are in the Silver Star recipient's future, but for now, he's not complaining.
It took a long time, but overall, I'm happy. I still got it, and it still works, so it's not much to complain about.
Still, Sergeant Church's hand is not back to 100%. His wrist was completely reconstructed out of plastic, metal, and a computer device to help regenerate the nerves in his fingers.
I can feel the left side of my hand, my pinky. I can tell I'm touching something. It kind of feels tingly.
Right.
But I can't tell textures, so I couldn't tell you the difference between a razor blade and a bunny rabbit. But other than that, it's not too bad.
I'm Sergeant First Class Matthew Chlosta, ISAF Headquarters Public Affairs, Farah, Afghanistan.